Welcome back to another Flutter tutorial. In today's episode, we'll learn how to work with images in Flutter. Most of the time, we need to add not just text, but we also need to add some images in our application. For that, Flutter offers you a widget that you can use to add image to your application. You can use the image widget, and then you have to provide an image provider. That can be an image from the internet, an image from your resource inside of your project, or even an image from a user device. So in this episode, we'll focus on images from assets and a network. So let's say instead of adding this text, we want to return an image inside of our application. So for that, let's replace this text widget with image widget. This is the default constructor. We have a required image provider. A provider can be an image from your assets, an image from network, and so on. And then we have a few other properties that you can use to customize how to display your image. You have the weight property and the height. We also have the color and the color blend to blend the color from your image to the background color. And also we have the fit property. Let's say we define an image to have 200 pixels in width and 200 pixels in height. We can use the fit to say how this image will be adjusted inside of that space. So instead of using this default image widget constructor, we can use the dot, and we have a few options. This is the Image.asset. You can specify an image inside of your Flutter project. If you use the network, you can provide a URL for your image. If you use the file, you can specify the file inside of your user device. And we also have the memory. This you will use a byte array to construct your image. So now let's see how to work with asset name constructor. You will see that the first option is a string. This is the path for your image inside of your resource. But for that, you have to do a few requirements steps. The first one, we've seen this on the video on how to organize your Flutter project. You can watch that video if this is the first video on this tutorial series. So we need to be inside of our root folder of our project. Click on new and then create a new folder and name it assets. This is the default name convention. And inside of this asset folder, let's create a new subfolder called images. Now you just have to drag and drop the image that you use inside of your project. Make sure you post it inside of this image subfolder. You can double check by clicking on the image. You can see right here we have the assets and then the image subfolder and then your image. The same thing for the second image. This is the Flutter logo. And now, once these two steps are finished, the third step is to come right here inside of the pub.dispatch and then scroll down until you see this section, assets. You can use the combination key command and / to uncomment, and then you have to provide right here the path to your image. Right here we need to define assets / image and then the name of your image dot the extension type. For this is car.jpg. You have to be very careful when you are editing this file because this file takes into consideration all the space that you give. So let's do the same thing for the second image, assets / image and then logo underscore 144.png. Save everything and you will see this file will get this path. If you don't see this option loading, you can click on this icon right here to get package, and this will do the same thing as click on save. So now that we have provided all the requirements to use the image from our assets, the next step is to come right here and provide the path to our image. You can use single quotes or you can use double quotes. Let's use single quotes. Again, assets and then image / car dot jpg. Save everything and you will see the image will be rendered in the middle of the screen because we are using this image as a child of a center widget. So now let's see how to work with the other properties. Give a comma. Always give a comma after a widget or after a property, even though you're not using another widget as following. Now let's provide the weight. As you can see, the weight takes a double as an argument. So let's say 200 pixel in width, and then let's use for the height also 200 pixel. Save everything. You don't see the change in the height, but once you start using the fit property, this will take a class of box fit, and this box fit, it's also an enum. The default value is contain, but you can also use cover, fill height, fill width, none, or scale down. Let's use the cover. Save. As you can see, only a portion of this image will be displayed. If you use the fill, this image will be constrained, and you can use the fit width. As you can see, only the width is be filling. You can use the fit height. You can see again only the portion of this image will be displayed, or you can leave as contain, which is the default option. So this is how you can work with images inside of your assets. Now let's see how to work with images from the network. You come right here, just specify the name constructor now to be the network. If you hover over it, you'll see the first property is the source. The source is the URL that you want to load your image from. So let me add some example that I have right here. I will post this URL for this image on the description of this video, but you can also use your own URL if you are following along in this tutorial series. So once I save everything, this Flutter will download and then cache this image and then render it in the middle of your page. Let's comment all these properties. So a good practice to work with image is to use a linear progressive loader. This loader will be showing the progress as the Flutter downloads the image. So this is how you can work with images widgets in Flutter. Oh, one more thing before I go. If you come right here inside of this pub specs again, if you remove or comment this first line and then we remove this name for our image and you leave just assets / image folder, Flutter will get all the image reference or path inside of this image folder. If you save everything and then let's go to home.dark again and let's use again the assets image, and now let's remove this URL. Let's provide the path again, assets / image / now let's use the logo _144.png. Save, and you will see this image will be loaded even though we are not specifying the path right here inside of the pub specs. So this is it for this video. If you find this video useful, give it a like to help our channel. And if you have any question, leave a comment. I'll reply to you as soon as possible. And consider subscribe. Stay tuned for when new videos are coming out. See you on the next one.